Chapter 3, The Daughter-in-Law They Never Wanted. The grand ballroom of the Sinclair estate sparkled with crystal chandeliers and golden decorations. Guests laughed. Champagne flowed. The newlyweds danced beneath hundreds of glowing lights. To the outside world, it was a fairy tale wedding. But Amelia Hart quickly realized that not everyone was celebrating. Especially her new family. As Ethan guided her across the dance floor, Amelia noticed Victoria Sinclair watching her from across the room. The older woman's smile never reached her eyes. It was polite, carefully practiced, and completely insincere. Amelia had seen that look before. The look people gave when they had already judged someone. "Stop thinking so much," Ethan whispered. Amelia looked at him. "What makes you think I'm thinking?" "Because you get that little wrinkle between your eyebrows." His thumb gently brushed her forehead. "There?" The wrinkle disappeared. Amelia laughed. "You're ridiculous. Yet you married me." "Sometimes I question that decision," Ethan gasped dramatically. "On our wedding day? Especially on our wedding day." He pulled her closer. For a moment, everything felt perfect again. Until a voice interrupted them. "Ethan?" Both turned. Victoria Sinclair stood beside them. Elegant, beautiful, and intimidating. "Mother," Ethan said warmly. Victoria smiled at her son before shifting her attention toward Amelia. "May I borrow Ethan for a moment?" "Of course," Amelia replied politely. Victoria nodded. But not at Amelia. Only at Ethan. As if Amelia wasn't even there. The slight stung more than Amelia expected. Still, she forced a smile. She had dealt with difficult people before. She could handle her mother-in-law. Or so she thought. 3 days later, Amelia received an invitation to afternoon tea at the Sinclair estate. Victoria had personally requested her presence. Amelia hoped it was an opportunity to build a better relationship. After all, they were family now. Surely things would improve. She arrived exactly on time. A maid escorted her to the garden. Victoria was already seated beneath a large white gazebo. Beside her sat Ethan's younger sister, Sophia Sinclair, 23 years old. Beautiful, spoiled, and famous for speaking whatever came to mind. "Amelia," Victoria greeted. "Thank you for coming. I'm happy to be here." Sophia looked Amelia up and down. The gesture was subtle. But not subtle enough. Amelia noticed. Victoria gestured toward an empty chair. "Please sit." Tea was served. Small talk followed. For a few minutes, everything seemed normal. Then Sophia broke the illusion. Oh. Amelia glanced up. Sophia smiled sweetly. Far too sweetly. "What attracted you to Ethan?" The question seemed innocent. But something about the tone made Amelia cautious. "Ethan is kind." Sophia nodded. "And?" "Intelligent." Another nod. "And?" Amelia frowned. "What do you mean?" Sophia stirred her tea. "I mean, Ethan comes from one of the wealthiest families in the country." There it was. The real question. Amelia remained calm. "I loved Ethan long before he became successful," Sophia laughed softly. "That's convenient." Victoria didn't correct her daughter. She simply sipped her tea. Watching? Observing? Judging? Amelia felt her stomach tighten. "Sophia," Victoria said gently. But there was no real warning in her voice. Only encouragement disguised as discipline. Sophia smiled. "I'm just curious." She leaned forward. "You don't come from wealth." "No." "Your parents own a bookstore." "Yes." "And now you're a Sinclair." Amelia met her gaze. "And?" Sophia shrugged. "I suppose people will talk." Amelia knew exactly what that meant. Gold digger. Fortune hunter. Social climber. The labels people often placed on women who married wealthy men. Especially women from modest backgrounds. The irony was almost laughable. If only they knew. If only they knew how many nights she had spent helping Ethan save their company. If only they knew that half of Sinclair Corporation's recent success came from plans she created. If only they knew that she had never asked for a single dollar in return. But Amelia remained silent. Because Ethan had always told her, give them time. They'll come around. She hoped he was right. Over the following months, things only became worse. Every family gathering felt like a test. Every conversation felt like an interrogation. Victoria questioned Amelia's intentions. Sophia criticized her choices. Even distant relatives joined in. One evening during a family dinner, an aunt asked, "So Amelia, what exactly do you do all day?" The table fell silent. Everyone listened. "I consult independently." The aunt raised an eyebrow. "Consult?" "Yes," Sophia laughed. "That's a fancy way of saying unemployed." Several relatives chuckled. Amelia felt her cheeks warm. Not from embarrassment. From frustration. Because she wasn't unemployed. Far from it. Many of Sinclair Corporation's biggest strategies were still being developed from her home office. The board didn't know. The family didn't know. Only Ethan knew. And he preferred keeping her involvement private. At first, Amelia agreed. She never cared about recognition. But now? Now she wondered if secrecy had become a mistake. Across the table, Ethan finally spoke. "Amelia works harder than most executives I know." The room grew quiet. Sophia rolled her eyes. "Of course you'd say that." Ethan frowned. "What does that mean?" Sophia shrugged. "It means you're in love. And? You don't see things objectively." Amelia placed a hand on Ethan's arm, silently asking him not to argue. The dinner continued. But the damage lingered. Later that night, Ethan found Amelia standing alone on the balcony of their penthouse. The city lights glittered below. She stared into the distance, lost in thought. Ethan wrapped a blanket around her shoulders. "It's cold." She smiled weakly. "Thank you." He stood beside her. Neither spoke for a while. Finally, Ethan sighed. "They did it again." Amelia laughed softly. "A little. I'm sorry." She looked at him. For a moment, she saw genuine guilt in his eyes. Not because of something he had done, but because of something he couldn't stop. "They'll eventually accept you," he said. Amelia remained silent. Ethan took her hand. "My family can be difficult." "Difficult?" He winced. "Okay," she laughed. "They're impossible." "That's more accurate." The laughter faded. And Amelia asked the question she had been avoiding. "What if they never accept me?" Ethan didn't hesitate. "Then that's their loss." She turned toward him. He gently brushed a strand of hair behind her ear. "I didn't marry you because of what my family thinks." His voice softened. "I married you because I love you." Amelia's heart warmed. This was why she endured everything. Because Ethan had always chosen her. Always defended her. Always stood beside her. Or at least he did then, years later, when another woman entered his life. When the family that already disliked Amelia found a new favorite, she would remember this night. And wonder how the man who once promised to protect her had become the man who broke her heart. The following morning, Victoria Sinclair sat inside her private study reviewing documents. A knock sounded. "Come in." Richard Sinclair entered. He immediately noticed his wife's expression. "What happened?" Victoria set down her teacup. "I still don't trust her." "This again." Richard sighed. "She's too perfect." Richard frowned. "What does that even mean?" Victoria looked toward the window. "Nobody is that selfless." She thought about Amelia. Her intelligence. Her composure. Her patience. None of it felt natural to Victoria. Because in her world, everyone wanted something. Power? Money? Influence. There was always a motive. Always? And until proven otherwise, she believed Amelia's motive was the Sinclair fortune. Neither she nor Richard realized they had already made a terrible mistake. Because the woman they distrusted most, was the very woman holding their empire together behind the scene.